All right. Welcome to the Memory Slot A podcast, where we talk about games, news. I am Chris, and I'm joined here with Margaret the C.
Hey there. How's it
Margaret
going?
the K. Oh God.
Yo.
Nah.
Did you just call him Mark with an A?
No, I said, oh God, because I don't know, he kept talking, and I wasn't expecting him to. I was trying to roll through it.
I talked too much.
He talked too much.
Clink.
Yeah. Rip. So we should
So
just
when
Rob,
our names get introduced, you have to
Hi.
say 1 or 2 words tops.
Okay, Margaret the
It's a
C.
new rule.
Margaret the Gay.
Yep.
And Rob, just say
Hey.
say 2 words. Sorry guys,
Yo.
I'm just trying to roll with the punches. Yeah, glad to be doing this again this week. It is a day for sure, and tomorrow will be another day.
Great.
That's
how the days of the week work.
the days. News this week. A lot of Overwatch stuff happened this week, and I know you guys are super into Overwatch, so I'm gonna let you guys take this off. But I'm pretty intrigued.
Soldier 76 is gay. It's canon. He had an old flame that was introduced in a comic that came in conjunction with like an actual gameplay update. There's like this challenge for an Ana skin, and so they released this comic with it that revealed some story between Soldier 76 and Ana, and there's like a couple of lines in there where they're talking about, because they're both old, they're talking about like their past lives, and Soldier had a relationship with someone whose name I forgot.
Vincent,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that as you could all expect had Twitter, well, the whole internet, but Twitter especially, just
always have Twitter
firing
aflame.
away with their takes on it, whether it was positive or negative. I mean, there was a lot of positive. I think it's cool.
I would know.
Flesh out the
Yeah,
characters, give them backstories. Also, like, who would have expected it for this to be how Soldier 76 was kind of built out in terms of his backstory. So that was a cool surprise. What do you guys think about it?
I agree. I never in a million years would have guessed that Soldier 76 would end up being gay. I think it's very cool because Soldier 76 is a cool guy. And there was a lot of negative stuff being said that, like, okay, it's good that he's gay, but at the same time, like, the way they revealed it, they're saying was not a good way to reveal it. And that's fine and dandy that people think that it's the way they revealed it was not great, because it was released in a comic it was 2 lines in a comic that showed up in the in-game launcher for Overwatch on computer, but not on console. So they're saying it's a disservice that not everyone is able to see it. Which, if you're into Overwatch and you're on social media, you will see the comic. Like, it's not that big of a deal that it was only showing up at first in the in-game launcher on PC, because you could find it everywhere. Like Mark,
it's not even
Mark
that.
with the C said, it set Twitter on fire, so you were gonna see it eventually.
I mean, like, no, but I mean, it's not even that. It's like there were even references to this, like the one photo of, what was it, Jack with
Vincent.
Soldier along with, what's his name, Vincent.
Vincent,
That photo
yes.
was also like briefly shown off in the 1 year anniversary comic.
Was it?
That's what I find super interesting about it, because like the comic thing happened a couple of years ago from what I'm seeing. Like, it happened
a while back.
Yeah, it happened when they were talking about oh God, what's her name?
Tracer.
Tracer.
Yep.
Yeah, and Tracer's
Yep.
lover. Right? Like
Yes.
like that's in that same comic, right?
That's
he's
true.
He's
True.
holding that photo of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they didn't mention anything about it until right now. And like actually confirmed that. And nobody would have drawn that conclusion because it just looks like a photo. But now there's like a whole short story titled Bastet, and in that story is when they like actually confirm it, and you can go to any article that's talking about this and actually go and read the short story for yourself. It's pretty long, actually.
Yeah, it's actually a well-written, like a well-written short story. Actually,
as is all of the like Overwatch lore content that has ever been released. Like all of it is super well done. And
this might be the first short story, though. Am I not wrong? I feel like
no, because I mean the graphic novel is a collection of shorts, and they've been doing like the whole comic thing for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Mark,
but I mean, like legit short story with no panels. I mean, this is like just a story.
It's actually a story.
All text. It's all text. It's legit, like a mini novel. Not as big as a novel, but it's all text.
Oh, it's not a graphic novel.
No, it's a legit short story. I read the thing. It was fun.
It's like 15 pages.
I was completely unaware of that. Now,
it's not your typical comic. That's why I thought it was different.
Oh yeah, sorry. I think I messed that up a little bit when I was introducing it. Yeah.
Sorry.
The comic it's referencing the comic, a panel from the Tracer comic.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's the thing. It's funny because Mark, like you were saying before, a lot of the negative opinions towards it are things like, oh, this is just pandering. They decided to tack this on just to get like, drum up some buzz or whatever, just because it's like, it's a type of thing that would get people talking. But the thing is, they clearly like thought about this and kind of had the story in their heads from way back. They just never, gave it to us. They never explained it until now. So it seems like it's definitely not tacked on, if you ask me. It seems like they were just waiting for the right time to release it.
Or maybe they were waiting for someone to actually look at those comics and been like, wait a second, like in this comic, we learned about Tracer and her lover, and now 76 is in the same comic looking at a picture of him and some other guy and like put those pieces together. Maybe they're waiting for someone to find it and like no one found it. So they decided to make something and like actually tell us.
It's funny because that comic, when that was released, I remember that panel, like the panel that they're referencing, and that was all amongst all the other panels that were showing off what all the other characters were doing and who they were spending Christmas time with. And you can tell, like you had Pharaoh with his boyfriend, I think, like having some coffee. You had Torbjorn with his kids. You had Reinhardt with like Brigitte out there at the time. So you see all these characters hanging out with, their significant others or people important to them. And then you have Soldier looking at this photo at the time, and you would think, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. That's probably something important. And they're elaborating on it now. So this is something that's been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so one of the things people are saying is that it came out at a bad time because there's another controversy going on with the Overwatch Contenders League. With a fake female player that was on one of the Contenders teams that was removed from that team, and it turned into a whole big gigantic mess. I was reading into it today. It's really confusing, but apparently the person wasn't real, and
they say it was a social experiment, and that the real person's not good at the game.
Blizzard made a statement saying, "Oh, we like to verify everyone is who they say they are," but it seemed, now it's like, oh well, you didn't do such a good job of that if this person didn't end up being real. So that coinciding with this reveal, people are saying, oh, this is just a stunt to derail the attention from that and bring it to something like this. And in that respect, I can understand why it would seem bad, but it would really be a shame if they planned to reveal this all along and it just so happened to coincide with a controversy.
I mean, I honestly think that's probably what happened. I don't think it's fair putting those two putting those two events together. We're talking about Overwatch lore here. They didn't just like print out this whole topic just to take advantage of the timing or anything like that. I just don't think
like someone had to have spent time writing this, because I mean it's a short story. Like it takes some time to write, rewrite, edit, this, that. You're not going to just whip this up a day or a week after a controversy just happened. I Overwatch and Blizzard in particular, I think, holds themselves to a higher standard with the content that they put out. So there's no way they would have let something half-baked go out.
Yeah. No, and it's definitely well written.
Especially consider that this is coupled with, actual in-game rewards and skins that you can get in honor of this short story,
Yep.
Like, obviously they were aiming to do this as some sort of, an actual game event.
Yeah, I like that because you're right. Like, they always do something like that where they give at least a little bit of context to the in-game stuff that they're doing, because I mean, we all know the game is just a multiplayer, this is dumbing it down a lot, but just a multiplayer shooter, right? Arena shooter almost. But like, when they have events, there's context around it. Sometimes it's got to do with like, the holidays or seasons, but then sometimes it's like, remember was it called like Talon? Yeah. The Talon, PvP or PvE thing that they did, and they have all the skins to be the Blackwatch skins and whatnot. And they always do something like that. So it makes sense that they would do the same thing here. So that seems like that was something they had probably planned for a while. It doesn't seem like it was cobbled together. It seems pretty, much a complete package.
Agree. It's just, unfortunate timing.
And it's, as I've read through this, I kind of really dig the message that it's making. There's one line in particular, a couple of lines that I really like, where they asked 76, like if he's still keeping a candle lit for Vincent, and he essentially says like, no, he's married and I'm happy for him, and like he deserved a happier life. And then there's one line that I really like. It's like, everything I fought for was to protect people like him. That's a sacrifice I made. And that also like speaks volumes to like our current society as well, and like things that we've gone through in the last few years. Since I guess that it might have been before that first comic came out, but I don't know. I think it sends a really good message. I don't understand why people are trying to go sour on it. I don't think there's a reason for that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And
people are overlooking a good story.
Pushing the message further that I think that they've been saying, like, I think if you keep up with like just stuff surrounding Overwatch and stuff, like Blizzard always, like their kind of like mantra of what Overwatch is like that, people from all walks of life, from all different kinds of places and backgrounds and stuff can be heroes. So that's literally doing like it's kind of furthering that mission statement that they have, I guess, by like kind of even further diversifying the one character who we thought we knew exactly what that character was. And they're like, no, it's a little bit more complicated than that. I appreciate that, because it means that they kind of respect the fans. Are like, yeah, we want to give you more,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very interesting. The last thing I would like to say about this is that people getting upset about this, it kind of, it's brand new lore, so I don't understand how you can be upset about something like that without, I don't know. I think being judgmental about this decision is different than being judgmental about a decision made about a current character that they want to change for some reason, even after they've already been established. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like when people get really upset about when people insinuate that there might be a Black James Bond, right? And
mm-hmm.
I like, even though I would totally dig it if there was a Black James Bond, I can also understand the other side of the story. People being like, it's unnecessary for us to need to do that, because like we have this picture of who he is already in our mind, and now we're changing that. So like, I get that, fine. But this is brand new lore. Why does it matter? I don't think it really does at all.
Right.
Nope, not in the slightest.
It's a brand new story. People can tell whatever story they want to. So good on you.
It's Blizzard making the decisions. It's not any of the angry fans. So
yeah.
Right.
So good on you, Blizzard.
Keep doing what you're doing, except the bad stuff. Just do the good stuff.
Stop nerfing her.
Don't nerf defense matrix anymore. You've already done enough.
3-second cooldown. Whoa, shit, Craig. God damn it. Keep going.
It was Greg or whatever the other one's name is.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's fine. Keep going.
All right, but something we should be maybe not so happy about though.
Mhm.
Smash DLC has leaked.
Ah.
Presumably.
Well, yeah. Allegedly, we don't know if this is an actual real leak, but it seems to be like. I think what I heard of like this most recent leak that came about, whoever leaked it had previously leaked, I think Piranha Plant or Joker, so they have a little bit of a track record, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I believe it was they leaked Joker, and then it ended up being real.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right, let's hear it. So what's the character DLC lineup?
Buckle in, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm ready.
So we got the already announced Piranha Plant and Joker.
Mhm.
Those I think we're all okay with. Then there's the Dragon Quest protagonist. Name is not popping up.
Erdrick.
There it is. I've never played Dragon Quest, but that's no big deal to me. Ryu from Ninja Gaiden, pretty cool.
That's cool.
Now we're taking the twist here. Steve from Minecraft and Marine / Doom guy from Doom. As
I really feel like those are stretches, but I mean, what do I know?
Those last two are stretches, and those
Doom
last
guy
two...
seems like a funny choice. I think that would be kind of funny.
Which one? The Doom guy?
The Doom guy, because he's like the ultra violent, like crazy murderer dude who's like ripping demons' heads off, and now you have to have him like beating up Pac-Man. I think that's funny.
It's a funny mental image. Yeah,
It's a great
Like
visual.
Yeah, he's gonna like plasma rifle Pac-Man. That's like hilarious.
so like I could see Doom guy being in Smash because it seems similar to like the addition of Snake into Smash, right? Like
Mhm.
slightly more adult, if you will,
Mhm.
and definitely more violent, but like Steve from Minecraft. If Steve from Minecraft is actually gonna be a playable character, I'm really gonna be disappointed because you had so many other great characters you could have chose from, and you chose a blocky character from Minecraft.
Now here's something
one that doesn't
actually
require a lot of work to make it.
that a thought I just had that makes me possibly doubt this a little bit is that Minecraft was bought by Microsoft a long time ago. And so like why would it be in Microsoft's interest to have Minecraft Steve be in Super Smash Brothers? Like why would they say yes to that?
Well, is it
Well,
Minecraft on the Switch?
Yeah, I think there's a Switch version of Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. So they could just
Of
sell
course,
copies of it on the-
Minecraft is everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's I guess when it comes to Minecraft they're not going to be like platform specific.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
think that
that's
would make
okay.
sense.
That's a good point, I guess. I was just thinking of it more in terms of like, it's like it seems like something like perhaps like they could, save for something that they're doing on Xbox, but if it is on Switch, then okay. Still seems a little weird to me, but I guess it's not impossible to imagine.
Are those all of the characters that have leaked so far?
Well, that's all the characters. Yeah, that's all
Those are
all
like-
of the ones that have been, even rumored to
Gotcha.
be in the game. And we know there's only going to be 5 plus the Piranha Plant. So if these are the 5, assuming these are the 5, I would say that it's a very disappointing DLC
Yeah, I agree.
roster.
I
I would
100%
agree with
agree.
that.
Like, I don't have a problem with Ryu or Erdrick or Piranha Plant or Joker. but like Steve just seems like a like this character is almost like adding in another villager. Like it just doesn't feel like it fits, even though villager kind of works.
Villager's
And-
really annoying. I don't like Villager in
and-
Smash. To be
Yeah,
honest.
same.
Doom guy. I mean, I'll be okay with Doom guy, but I can't be okay with Steve.
Now I have a question. Is there a was it when they thought that it leaked that it was Doom Guy? What actually tipped them off to say, "Hey, this is probably Doom Guy"? Is there like wording within I know like they data mine some stuff and whatever.
Hold on, I'm looking.
Yeah,
at
I don't
these
know
aren't
how the leak
necessarily
was
data mined.
presented. I
And,
think
you
it may
know.
have been like a forum post or something that was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
need to just disclose this original source is 5chan. So if you know your 4chan and your 5chan, I'm just putting that out there. That's the original
listen,
source.
we're talking about rumors, so obviously it's gonna be something not potentially real.
Okay, so supposedly it's a data mine leak of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate source code that have labels for characters: Fighter Kind Jack, Fighter Kind Brave, and Fighter Kind Paku. And then I can't find the other ones.
Yeah, I mean the data mine leak is related specifically towards Joker and Erdic from Dragon
Yeah.
Quest. Those two seem to be the most substantiated ones. The rest are pretty much hearsay, at least based on what I can read from the original.
What's interesting to
from the
me
translation
is
from
that
the original.
what's interesting to me is that in the past it was leaked, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see it because this is audio.
This isn't a video cast.
Yeah. There is a leak supposedly that Vault Boy was coming. And what's interesting is that both Doom and Fallout are published by Bethesda Softworks, aka ZeniMax. So I wonder if they might be hiding Vault Boy under some actual Doom layer of something to throw people off.
I
Or
wonder.
maybe
What you're
because-
saying is
maybe
Fallout
some will-
76 for Switch confirmed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
did you guys
Fallout
see
Still want
Shelter
that.
is on Switch, so
Fallout Shelter is
True,
on Switch,
true.
and there was some sort of a leak, and this is not related. We can talk about it later, but a possibility of The Witcher 3 coming to the Switch, which would be fucking wild. But
that seems like a big
yeah,
big deal if they can make it run. Jeez.
that's a whole discussion that we can have at
Yeah.
another time. But before we go, I guess move on to something else. Is there one character that you wish was in Smash, excluding Sora?
Damn you,
Because
Because
we've talked about
Riku! You didn't say I couldn't use Riku.
Wow.
the Echo
Wow.
Fighter
God
for Sora.
Damn it.
Nah, but I would say Zero from Mega Man X. I think he'd be great.
Okay.
Of course, Mega Man makes sense.
Okay.
I have to think for a while.
I would say, and I think I might be on. I've been recorded saying this before, but Kiryu from Yakuza would be hilarious because again, like similar to Doom Guy, he's just like he just beats the shit out of people, but obviously in a very different way. I don't. You guys haven't played any Yakuza games, but like, it would be very funny because he's
Nice.
just got this like mob style to him, and imagining him beating up classic Nintendo characters, using all of his different techniques, and he has like 4 different from some of the games he has these 4 different fighting styles that I think would fit very well in the way Smash works mechanically. You know how like Shulk has to cycle through a couple of his different Minato arts. It would be something like that, I can imagine. So I think like he could work. He would be like a probably similar to like a Ryu or something, like in terms of him being just like fist and feet combat and stuff. I think I could see it happening.
As
What
for
about you,
me, I mean, like, as if I haven't shut up about Xenoblade yet, I would really want a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 character to make it in. Yes,
Pick
I
one.
know
One
that
of the
Rex
pretty
and Pyra
ladies?
are fucking stickers, but come on. I think this game I think this game can manage to afford at least someone from Xenoblade Chronicles
Just pick
to actually make it in.
Yeah, pick one.
Well,
There's
well,
like
not
has
a
to
billion
be
characters in
Just
that
pick
I
game.
know. I
Which
know.
one?
I said I would pick Pyra. I would.
Okay.
I would
Good
want
call.
that very, very much.
That's a good choice.
Okay.
Well, I do think for the plots after all, but
Nice.
I would really like to see that happen. I mean, I know she's already a sticker in this game, but if magic could happen, I would want that. I would definitely.
Chris,
want
I'm going to
that.
restrict you from saying Vault Boy, so pick someone else.
I'm not gonna. I actually wasn't gonna say Vault Boy. I'm like actually just really
Boom.
mad at Bethesda at this point. So fuck Vault Boy. I don't want him anymore. But there are actually two that I think would be pretty cool. One is actually Bethesda, so I just shot myself in the foot. But I think it would be really cool if they had the like logo character from Skyrim, the Dragonborn.
The
I think that-
Dovahkiin.
Dovahkiin. I think that would be so sick because you could just like shout people off the map. Safus Roda, and the guy just goes flying. I think that'd be so cool. And then also, if they're going the route of like we don't care about violence and like let's let the Doom guy in. Mark, you might like this. What about the dude from Hitman?
Yo!
Oh,
I think I said that to Mark the other day too.
Wouldn't that, be so
really,
sick?
really good. That would be
Let's
really
get some
good.
Agent 47.
but is Hitman on a? Well, you'd have to get Hitman on a Nintendo IP first.
I don't care if it is. I just want him in Smash.
Okay,
To be honest,
you're right. This is a complete. This is a complete.
is
You
the
know,
Listen,
wish list.
speculation.
Joker is in the game.
I mean, Persona's on the
officially,
3DS.
Well,
Persona's
you know
on the
what?
3DS. So.
but not
3DS
Persona. There's no Persona 5 anywhere.
Listen. 3DS games are very disappointing, especially in Japan. So let's move on from that. All right.
Oh wait,
I know you're gonna get
I
there.
got one more.
Uh-huh.
Tidus from Final Fantasy X. Ha 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 ha
that
ha.
would-
ha.
Oh my god!
That would
With
be,
that laugh? Oh,
Yeah.
that would be very
would be his
good
taunt.
because isn't Final Fantasy X coming out in that collection?
It
It's
is,
true.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
So-
why
Don't get
restrict
me
yourself
thinking
to
like
Final
that.
Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah,
true.
why? Let's get Squall while we're at it.
Oh, one last thought on this. If Doom Guy comes into the game, I think it's going to be really weird if they don't just add gore everywhere. Like, gore
Right?
needs to be there. The game needs to go to M, and, like,
Yeah.
you need to be able to rip Mario's arm off and just
Oh
have
my-
him be
yes.
bleeding
Oh
and,
my
like, shit coming out. It'd be so great.
Oh, yeah.
All of the 12-year-olds will suddenly become adults that day.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to have glory kill animations for every character in the game.
That'll be the final smash.
Like just speaking about Pac-Man before, you just rip his jaw at the
Oh
hinge.
my God! You
'Cause that's what he does to the demons in the game. That's
you
like
pull him
literally a thing.
apart and he just.
Yeah.
God damn, it'd be so great.
Nintendo, we just gave you a better DLC lineup. Do it.
All right, can someone explain to me this AGDQ 2019 thing that you won't tell me about until we're live? Because I want to know what this is.
Oh yeah. May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright.
Oh, of course,
All
Marcy.
right. Okay, so AGDQ stands for Awesome Games Done Quick. There's two different Games Done Quick events that happen every year. So it's AGDQ and SGDQ, which is Summer Games Done Quick. So AGDQ is at the start of the new year, and then summer is obviously in the summer. What it is like a week of nonstop. I don't think they always do it in the same place, but they like book like a convention hall or like a ballroom in a hotel or something. And they literally nonstop for a full week cycle people up to a stage where they speed run through games. But these are people who are like dedicated, like masters of these games that can do some pretty amazing stuff. And it's really, really cool to check in on it every once in a while, especially if it's maybe a game you played when you were young, because a lot of it is retro games or at least like older generation games, and you just see people doing stuff in it that you never knew was possible, or just like literal doing things where you're so like mastered the movement of the game where you never break your sprint or something, and you make it through a game that took you 20 hours in like 30 minutes. It's really, really cool to see it. And sometimes they have like special runs that are required. It's called like tasks, which is tool assisted speed run, which has some
The
automation.
little Rob robot.
Yeah, exactly. Where some of it's like being automated. It's like programmed to complete the game faster than a human is able to. It's just some really cool creative stuff, and it's going on right now. So I figured we'd highlight it for a little bit.
That's
But yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
what it is.
What are some
Now,
of like
alternatively, go ahead, Chris.
what are some of the like big games there that
Oh,
people
okay.
speedrun?
So the biggest one, and you guys can check me on this, Mark and Rob, but the biggest one, as far as I know, is Super Metroid.
Oh,
Mhm.
always have Metroid
They
trip.
always, or almost
Except the last
always,
one.
end the week with a run of that. It takes a couple hours to complete, I think. And so the big thing is the big like kind of component of the GDQs is it's all done as a charity event to like raise money for I think it's
A
like
charity of
Doctors
their
Without
choice.
Borders.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a charity of their choice, I guess, for whatever year it is. So people donate all the time, and they donate and send a message. You can like donate to have certain incentives met. So you could have someone, let's say they're playing like a Tony Hawk game, they're like speed running through it, and there's like special, hidden levels at the end. You can like donate
Or like choose your
towards them
character
doing
name.
that. Yes, yeah, exactly. Or choose the file name or whatever. So if you're watching one of these and you're not like initiated to it, you'll like be kind of confused because you'll see they'll read donations a lot where they'll say like, this person donated $50 and they say kill the animals, and this person donated $10 and they say save the animals. And
That's
it
for
just
Super
goes
Metroid.
on for the whole week because at the end of Super Metroid, there is like a scene where there are like some animals and you can either choose to kill them or save them. Killing the animals saves like literally one frame, but the spirit of speedrunning is that every little micro efficiency you can do is worth it. So it is more efficient to kill the animals, but it's more cruel. So they have like
It's immoral.
yeah, exactly. So they have people donating throughout the entire week, whether or not the person who's running the game will kill or save the animals. So it's just like fun little stuff like that.
That's
And
cool.
if I recall correctly, I think there was one run of Metroid where the guy was on pace for a world record, but he had, which is the option that is longer. Is it's saving the animals, right?
Yeah,
Longer?
saving is
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah. So the incentive for save the animals won, and he missed the world record because of it.
Ugh.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Tight.
But there are plenty of other games that are played, and the library it changes, it differs from year to year. Sometimes you'll have a Legend of Zelda game, sometimes you'll have Wind Waker, and of course, different games they also have different rule sets. So like
different
you could do
categories.
100% or main story only, or I don't know.
80%
Do you guys know?
glitchless runs. They do a lot of game breaking stuff in it too, which on first glance it's like, oh, I just want to see you play the game really fast the right way. But after a while,
It's really cool to see how
Yeah.
far they can break a game.
and like Chris, you like Donkey Kong Country, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
You should watch a speed run of Donkey Kong Country 2 where they use unintended warps in the game. Your mind's gonna go fucking insane.
Yeah.
Really?
It's awesome. It's so
Oh
cool.
God.
Oh,
I gotta do that.
One of the coolest things to see for the first time, and I know you're a Pokemon fan, Chris. So if you watch like a Pokemon Gen 1 run that they do,
Mhm.
the way that the game was built was that every time you take a step, it like changes the RNG of the entire yeah, of like the entire game. So if you take the exact like this one exact path through the game, you can literally be like 100% sure that you get a random encounter on this certain tile, or you'll be like exactly sure that you can like catch this Pokemon. It's bizarre the amount of like memorization and like intelligence you need in order to pull that shit off, but they do, and they do it like live on a stage, which is awesome.
So
It'll
like,
blow
If
your
you
mind.
think about it, it's
So,
like
like,
missing
they'll-
though.
So like they'll never hit a random encounter because they know
Exactly.
exactly
Yes,
what
they'll be
they're
like,
going to
if I
step on.
walk this specific way, I will never get a wild
Yeah.
encounter.
Or
What?
or if I walk this specific way, I'll get a level 7 Pidgey that has perfect IVs sort
Yes,
of shit.
yeah.
It's
Oh my
Shit like
God.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It really is a spectacle to watch, and I highly recommend.
It's like even if you don't know some of the games that they're playing, it's also just enjoyable to just watch what it is that they do and just be like, "What? You can do
Yeah.
that in a game?" You know, stuff like that. And that's
They
going
do
on.
like joke games sometimes. Like I know someone speedrun like the Pepsi Man game.
Yeah.
And I think like there was like a Wendy's video game once. Someone did like a speedrun of in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
They
there's like
they do
an
fun shit
awful
like that.
games block.
Yeah.
You know, my
time to
favorite
time.
is like the TazBot block, where again, as Mark with the C mentioned, you know, there's Taz. There's like this little Rob robot that is programmed to input commands very specifically, and they're able to do something like take a game like Brain Age and draw a whole bunch of pictures in all of these math questions. So you get like 2 + 2, and then it draws a picture of like a hat or something, and it still comes off as correct. And you know, like that I always found was really funny.
There's also like
blocks always my favorite.
Asbot breaks, Mario Kart. Really fun stuff to watch.
Yeah, it's good shit, Chris. You should definitely take a look this week.
I'm definitely going to. That's
Mhm.
it's. I'm kind of really excited about this. Talking about random games that I kind of wish they would speedrun now. I don't know if you guys have ever played it. Probably not, because I don't know why you would have. It's like one of those. It's like portrayed as one of those shitty games that come with the movie, but I actually really enjoyed it. I had a really good time with it. Pirates of the Caribbean: At World's End on the PS3. I kind of want to see someone speedrun that shit. It's probably
Is that a good or a bad thing?
To be honest,
mean-
I loved the game, and I would like to see someone go through it. Really take them like 10 minutes, but
There's you're in luck. There are YouTube videos of speedruns of that game, but they're
Get the
not
fuck
from
outta here.
they're not from the event, but they're look, a world record 2 hours 35 minutes 9 seconds.
oh wow, that's a lot longer than I thought it would be.
I mean,
I'm
there's
not gonna-
only
I'm
so
not gonna
much
watch
cutting
that.
one can
It's not
do, I guess.
optimized yet, I guess.
I'm not gonna. Yeah,
they
I'm not
didn't
gonna watch that
find
one.
the number one time saving glitch in the game.
Either that or they're going for the wrong end. Not any. They should do any percent, not 100. Har.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good shit.
Talking about like glitches in the game and like unintended warp things. I'm gonna bring up that topic that I was thinking about to bring up with the following topic after this, but I think it fits really well here. So I had been reading something earlier about secrets that are within games that like were found way later than the actual than when the game came out. Just secrets that found years for people to figure out were actually there. Such as the fact that you can play as the Master Hand in Super Smash Bros. Melee, and like no one knew that for 7 years until someone found out that you could do it. Like stuff like that. How many games do you think have weird shit like that programmed into the game that people will probably never ever find?
This has no basis at all, but the like 12-year-old me still wants there to be some secrets in Halo 2 that I never found. Because I spent a lot of time trying to go like out of bounds and stuff. Because you guys remember back in the day when people would be like, you know, if you like do this specific thing, you know, you get to see some secret cutscene or blah blah blah, and like those myths that people would make around the games. I totally believed all that stuff about Halo 2. And I still
It's like the mule under the truck, or if you go into the grass outside of Pallet Town. That's the one I really wanted to be true.
You can catch all the starters in the game by doing that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, but if we're talking about stuff in games that we
and you mean Chris, you mean stuff that's like intended to be found. It's just that no one found it.
That no one's found it, and the developers never mentioned it, such as the secret hand, and such as the happy birthday sign in Halo 3, and the hidden message like in this, like if that's pretty cool. And there's one more that I was in GoldenEye for the 64, there's like a line mode that nobody found out existed until years later, trying to put in cheats. And the company just like told everyone, like, no, there's only cheats that we put in the game. There's no other cheats. But there is a cheat that just makes like you play the game, but you only see the outline on a black and white screen of everything that's happening. So it's just like the outline of a door, the outline of a person, and like that's it.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Like a really heartfelt thing. Remember when the Switch first came out and it was discovered that
yeah.
they had programmed in like balloon fight into the actual Switch like OS that was just like inaccessible unless you like hacked it as a tribute to
And it's Satoru Iwata.
after he died.
Yes. Because
that seems like, sorry Rob, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
no,
I was
go
just
ahead,
gonna say that that seems like if no one ever found that would have been a nice little secret. That would have been a nice tribute for the people who knew about it.
Yeah.
Now we
The
all
only
know.
problem is no one knew what actually triggered it, and no one ever really actually cemented what triggered it. All we know is that people were able to hack it to make it show up. I don't think we ever learned, and I don't think we ever will at this point.
I don't know if it was even like intended for the customers to find it. You know what I mean? They may have just put that in there as just like a respectful little tribute.
Hidden in every Switch.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. And I think that, that actually does kind of cover, like, I think what Chris is looking for.
Yeah. I bet there's stuff out there that no one will ever find and that will die with the developers of the game that they put in the game for someone to find. And that's kind of cool to think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Agree.
I'm thinking like maybe like MMOs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things like that would be like a good type of game for that to exist because you can all look for things together.
I agree. I bet you there's some crazy stuff hidden in like Skyrim that no one's ever found. They just put it there.
Hey, wait! I got one. Do you think people will ever find Bigfoot in GTA 5?
Oh my god,
big one.
That
was a big one, wasn't it? Next to aliens.
That was supposed to be in San Andreas, and like one person put a picture of it up a long time ago when that game came out, and everyone thought that Bigfoot was a thing, but like they never. Like, there's been like really no one that's ever taken a real picture of it after that one guy was like, "Oh shit, it's Bigfoot." You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah, but supposedly he is in GTA 5.
That's what they keep saying, And I feel like, will we ever see it at this point? There was a whole AR at some point, I think like a year or two ago. I don't know.
And no one found him yet?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I think I could be wrong, but I feel like they also put him in Red Dead, and people have actually found the troll in Red Dead.
In Red Dead,
yeah, I gotta look
Red
that
Dead
up.
Or Red Dead 2?
Red Dead 2, the new one.
What the fuck?
There's a lot of really weird shit in Red Dead 2. Like there's like this weird cabin if you go all the way to one of the corners of the map where it's just like a cabin with like a witch's pot, and then you walk in and I looked down and I was like, "Oh, it says drink from the pot." So I drank from the pot, and then like my guy just collapsed, and then I woke up like 50 feet away from it with no effect on my character. I was just passed out and then woke up outside and like weird shit like that.
That's about right.
And then the last one I think is pretty funny. I want to mention, but you guys remember Wave Race?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Wave Race 2000.
Well, the one that there has an actual weird Easter egg is Wave Race Blue Storm for the GameCube. And it took 9 years for someone to figure out that this was actually a thing, but there's an Easter egg, and in order to actually like enable the Easter egg, you need to like fuck with the fog settings, and like after you mess with the fog settings, then you got to put in this long, really weird code of buttons and then go back to start a race. And the announcer just says really sarcastic, passive aggressive shit to you as you're racing, which I find hilarious. Like he says, like when you choose a character, they say like you've chosen poorly, or like he also says if you were any good, you'd get a turbo by hitting the gas when the light turns green at the start of the race. And or he'll say like, and you don't have an inferiority complex, you're just inferior. Like he's just
great.
He's just like a jerk for the whole race, and I think that's so funny. And nobody found it for 9 years.
The video game.
Yeah, like it's so great. Oh man,
I would like to think that every game probably has some little hidden attribute in it that maybe no one has figured out yet, and I'll just like to think that for the rest of my life. even
That way you feel,
Just
yeah.
Keep looking.
Even
Just keep looking for it.
if it's not true, just so I could believe that they go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Feel good thing. Yeah.
You know who
I
goes above and beyond?
Is it Bungie?
It's Bungie. What has Bungie done this time?
So
know.
Bungie, have you guys been keeping up with the Destiny 2 like expansion stuff that's been happening?
They're up to the Black Armory, right?
Yeah, so that's their like so they have like the big expansion, Forsaken, right? And then the couple of little DLCs along the way. This is the first one since Forsaken called the Black Armory. It's like a bunch of end game stuff. I think there's like a series of forges that open up and they just kind of unlock content for people to play, like public events and stuff. And so the first one opened when the DLC dropped, and then the second one was going to open, in this window of like maybe the past 24 hours. And the way that it was unlocked was there was a puzzle that Destiny had put, or that Bungie had put into Destiny, that the players had to solve. And once, like the world first solving of the puzzle happened, then this forge activity would unlock for everyone across the entire game. And so people have been trying to solve this puzzle because, as you guys know, Destiny players love puzzles. They want things to be difficult, unless they're, too difficult, because then that's a problem. It can't be too easy and it can't be too difficult. And this is the problem that has been happening with the Black Armory. This puzzle was too hard to solve. No one could do it. So Bungie was like, fuck it. We're just going to unlock it as if you solve the puzzle. And there was this whole saga that took like more than a day of people banging their heads against this. The puzzle was like within this like wave-based public event where you had to do something to finish a last wave and people just had no idea what to do. So Bungie was like, okay, you can still have your forge. That's basically what happened.
That's
did they complain then that what was unlocked was unlocked prematurely? And that's
Say that again?
Was there an outrage that Bungie decided to open it without people figuring it out, or is it just like oh thanks Bungie, we're never going to figure it out?
I'm not even sure, because this is actually so recent that in like within the past couple hours basically was when Destiny unlocked, or when Bungie unlocked this. The update to this, so I'm reading an article from PC Gamer. The latest update says the community failed to solve the puzzle by the deadline, and so Bungie has opened the doors to all. Not everyone is happy about it based on replies to the tweet, but the puzzle remains available for those determined to take on the challenge. Anyone who manages to solve it will earn a unique ghost and emblem to signify their accomplishment. So there is still rewards, but it's not like people will no longer have the pride of being like, I unlocked the content for all of Destiny 2. The same way that people rush to be the world first to beat the raids whenever they come out and stuff.
Or be the first comment on a YouTube video.
Exactly. But you know what? This one proved to be too hard.
I'm glad they didn't reveal the solution to the puzzle. And they're still gonna let people go after it. So you know what?
Still have hope in the people to be able to complete the challenge. Good on them.
good on ya. Hey guys, my dog came to hang out with me.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hi, dude. Hi, dude. Hi, buddy. Yeah, I don't think I could sit on Destiny for 20 hours. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, something that I read up about it was that basically it was this like public event that is like 7 waves, and so whenever you failed the puzzle, you had to go through all 7 waves again. So it's basically just like a gigantic time sink for the people who are dedicated to trying to beat it.
That's ridiculous. Damn. Well. Oh well. Talking. Well, I would have ditched that just like Ubisoft ditched Steam for the Epic Store.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Division 2. That's pretty big.
Yeah. So
That's real big.
For those who don't know, Epic opened up a store where they're gonna cut a good deal for developers who decide to publish their games there. And Ubisoft is the first like giant to get on board with that, and it could make some serious waves.
It could.
I mean, because the Division 1 was that on Steam?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it
It
was.
is on
Or wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
Okay, just making sure
Doesn't
I got that
Ubisoft have their own
They do have their own
store?
store.
Yes, and they have their own store and launcher. So it's kind of interesting to see that they are going to the Epic store. I guess not really any different than them being on Steam and their own store, but
Mhm.
still.
Maybe it's like better. Maybe with the deal that Epic is cutting them, it's actually better for them. It saves them cost because then they don't have to keep their own store up and running. They can just use that and like not really have to pay for keeping their own store up. I don't know.
True that, and it also seems like it's making a statement, being like, we're just not all for Steam. I think
Yeah.
it just makes a subtle statement there that I think a
This
lot of
is
people
a-
are listening to.
A big this is a big get for the Epic Store exclusivity. This means they're really. I know that they had said a lot of stuff was coming to the Epic Store first, but like nothing near the level of a big budget game like this. So now now we know like this is for real. This rivalry is definitely going to happen.
And Ubisoft has also said that they have future titles that are also planned to be released with the Epic Store. So if the Division 2 comes out of the gate swinging, it might
It's a good sign.
it might be
Well,
trouble
not for
for
Steam.
Steam. It might be trouble for Steam.
Yeah.
They
Good.
might see other people get up and go to.
Maybe Valve will go back to having to make video games.
Maybe we'll finally get
Could you
Half-Life 3.
imagine? What
Maybe
would
have-
come out first, a Division 3 or Half-Life?
Games hardly ever come in threes. Very, very rarely.
Yeah, look at Borderlands. Am I right?
Oh my god. Still, man. Still, just tell me, all right? Just tell me what's happening with that goddamn game.
No one will ever say.
Imagine that comes out on the Epic Store.
Woof.
You know what's really funny though? Like everyone was like, "Yo." Well, I guess this is different because it's the Epic Store, but everyone was like, "Yo, fuck Fallout 76. They put it on their own thing and didn't put it on Steam with the refund policy." What's the Epic Store's refund policy?
That's a good
That's a good
you know what?
question.
I'll look into that right now. Keep talking.
Yeah, I wonder what their actual refund policy is. And did Fallout 76 start a
You
trend
may
with
request a
ditching Steam?
refund. Yeah, within 14 days of purchase. There you
Hey,
go.
14 days.
you go, Epic.
That's pretty
Sounds
good.
again like Steam.
That's-
Steam, I think, is 14 days or some number of hours. I forget. 5 hours maybe of gameplay, one or the other, whichever comes first. No, 1 hour of gameplay, I think, whichever comes first.
1 hour of gameplay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that should be interesting. And that means like Assassin's Creed should be coming to the Epic Store and not Steam as well.
Yeah, I did. So is that what that means? Like Ubisoft is going to be having their games hosted on only the Epic Store moving forward, or do you think it's a one-time thing?
I think it's. I mean, they have said like we have other games slated, so I think if it goes well, that they'll probably just put everything out on the Epic Store.
Yeah.
If it's.
I
if
mean, I
it's more
think they're
beneficial
testing
for
the
them.
waters. They're going to see how
Yeah.
much share they can sell on the Ubisoft. On the Epic Store. See like how much it can get from that. And if it looks good, then they'll probably keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I bet that they'll do like a year test run to see if it's really worth it for them to keep doing it. But I mean, I imagine, what is it, an 88-12 split, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll keep up on that.
Yeah. Are there
let's
any?
see.
Are there any VR games coming to the Epic Store or on the Epic Store?
That's actually a good question. Does the Epic Store have VR
the
games? I have not thought about that.
Epic's Store is still doesn't really have it's
Doesn't
no
the
nothing VR.
the VR
think.
platforms don't they have their own stores, or are like Oculus and Vive games on Steam? I honestly don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm a little.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
sure because
I'm a
like
little touchy on it. I know Steam has like a particular, so there's like a special VR. Like Steam definitely has like a special like marketplace for VR games. Like it counts like as a genre. I know that. I think I know that much. But I don't think they have like a specific store for said games.
yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
I could be
Steam.
mistaken.
I'm looking at it right now. They do have a lot of virtual reality games.
Yeah,
Steam. It doesn't
super
like
hot. Beat
games for
Saber.
the
Super hot.
Hot.
Pocket Far VR Ground. Top selling VR games, Beat Saber, yeah, Skyrim, all those games are on here.
Yep. See, it makes sense. I
Hmm.
mean, again, Epic Store's still growing, so it's still a work in progress. They may or they may not. Who knows? We'll have
Yeah.
to see.
They should jump onto that because VR ownership went up in 2018 from 0.4% to 0.8% of the
Whoa,
user
It
base.
doubled.
That's
Isn't that amazing?
doubled.
Wowzers. Oh God.
It's really our
Depending on
year
where
this
you
year.
look. Yeah. Depending on where you look, they'll say it doubled. It makes it sound really good, but then when you realize it's less than 1%, you do a double take, and you're like, is
That's
it
still
really good,
less
though?
than 1 in 100 people that have it.
That's true. And
It still
honestly,
probably ends up being quite a bit of people though, because so many people are on Steam, right?
Yep. If you think about it, if you're looking at like the giant like player base that Steam has, it's probably a significant number. But it really leads you to think like we've had VR for like what, 4 years now? 4? No, 2014, 15,
Yeah.
16.
Something like
something
Couple
like
years
that.
now.
In that range.
Yeah, definitely a lot longer than say Nintendo's Virtual Boy. So we know that VR is sticking around.
Actually, it's not longer. We've had Virtual Boy for way longer. Had that other stuff.
We've had Virtual Boy. I mean, you can have Virtual Boy
Virtual
existing.
Boy was just the worst Nintendo console ever created.
with so many games for it, as opposed to the number of VR games you can play now. And there are always more and more streamers actually playing a lot of these VR games. Again, Beat Saber is a very popular one. But it really like makes one wonder. It's just sort of like, why hasn't it caught on as big as people thought it would be? Because I remember 2 years ago, people thought that the Oculus Rift would be the biggest, the greatest thing ever. And everyone was trying to like shove VR and be like, VR is going to be the coolest thing. And we're going to make sure you have the best experience. I mean, that's why Sony got into the PSVR game, for example, right? And even that is kind of, I think they are selling units. I'm not sure if it's meeting what they expected, but a thought that came to mind, if I can even read the thoughts that came to mind, because now they're underneath a bunch of Scythers.
But it's a
What?
thought.
Scyther!
Well, it is number one Pokemon.
Oh,
Sure, we can get to that. We'll get
nonsense.
to that.
But
I did it.
Thank you. But the thought that came to mind is just sort of like, none of us here own a VR headset. I'm just curious as to why.
Hey,
like,
I have a Google Daydream. Thank you very much.
Oh, right.
burn.
That counts. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. But do you use it often?
Nope.
No.
Well, there you
See,
go.
that's the thing, though. You own one and yet you don't use it. Why?
Because I got it for free.
And
I
you
have
don't find
no
any
in-
value
I have
in it?
no investment in it. No, honestly, it's because it's utilizing my phone. There's only so much you could do with just your phone and a small remote with 2 buttons on it. I mean, obviously, but I know what we're talking about is, real powerful like PC VR with like controllers
Well,
and
I mean,
and
I don't
stuff.
necessarily want to restrict it to that, because I think I think a lot of VR can also lend itself to being like the next big thing as far as like augmented reality is concerned. Like I think if the mobile market is probably more susceptible to a VR boom than say home consoles, because I think the biggest thing personally for me against VR headsets is the fact that it takes up space and is so freaking cumbersome. Like, I have a PC that's probably powerful enough to run a VR headset very well, but I don't want to have to move my furniture out of the way every time I want to
Yeah.
play it and hook
Mhm.
myself up into a headset that's got like a billion thick cords
I-
coming out the back, you know?
I just think it's a suboptimal experience to have in your home. Whereas if you go to somewhere, that was specifically designed with VR in mind. So for instance, I never gave a crap about VR. And to an extent, I still don't. But over the summer 2K18, I did a Star Wars VR thing. And like you walked like literally through, like it was probably only like 4 rooms looking back, but like 4 interconnected rooms where you walk into one room and then you walk back, like you navigate through what's on your headset. And it was really amazing to me that like you actually walk through a bunch of rooms without really having ever seen where you were walking. Right? Like you're looking at what's on the screen in your helmet. And that I think was fascinating, but I don't think it translates the same at home, because at home you're really just experiencing something, right?
Like you don't get to walk. I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah,
you don't get to walk.
Like you're experiencing what's shown on the headset, and that's cool. But I like the idea of a full body VR experience.
So movement essentially is what you're looking for, like actual movement.
Yeah.
I've speaking of that, I've had a similar VR experience. I don't know if you guys have heard of this VR World. Have you heard of that place before?
No.
I have not.
It's in like Herald Square area.
Okay.
So it's just like this place that has a bunch of VR setups for different experiences, like Mark, what you were saying, that are designed specifically for the experience that it's showing you. And it's just like a place where you go, there's like a bar there, you can hang out. It's cool. But the reason why I bring it up is because I went there like 2 years ago or like a year ago. And one of the things that was like really, really cool that they had there was this kind of area with a plank of wood on the ground. And what they had you do was stand in this spot. They would put the headset on you. And once you're in the headset, like what's in front of you is an elevator, and you go inside it. You can like take a step in because it's had like room scale and stuff. And the elevator brings you all the way up to the roof of a building. And then what you're supposed to do is walk on a plank that's hanging off the edge of the building. And so in real life, you're actually walking on like a 2x4 that's, maybe like a couple of inches off the ground. But
and like rescue a dog?
No. You're literally just supposed to, you're just like on the top of a skyscraper, and you're just supposed to walk, just to kind of experience what it would be like to be, one step away from falling off the top of this gigantic building.
Wow.
Basically, you walk until you get to the end.
Sick.
It's like, it was such a cool experience because you start wobbling and stuff. There's like wind blowing in the VR headset, and it makes you feel like it's swaying you. And then if you take a step off the plank of wood, then you fall and you splat on the ground. Which is that part was a little different, or not perfect, because obviously you're still standing up and everything, but it was super cool. So agreed. I just kind of wanted to share that because I thought that was
great. Like I think when the VR experience can make like your whole body feel something, like feeling like you're gonna fall, or feeling like someone else is in the room with you, really makes the experience so much better than what you'll just get from just a headset.
So really what you're looking for is the true immersive experience, I guess. And I think VR hasn't gotten there yet. And I think
I don't think we're real.
Well, again, I keep coming back to it, but I think Beat Saber does come the closest to it, insofar as Beat Saber does seem to be quite a bit of a workout, which does involve you dodging a whole bunch of things, which I'm really, really curious about now. I spent a whole day watching like Beat Saber stuff, and like that really got me curious.
It looks really difficult, honestly. Like,
yeah, you think so?
As far as a rhythm game is concerned, it looks really, really intense.
But I feel like it would also make you feel really cool if you could pull all that off. I feel like if I invested enough time in it, I'd probably be able to get it. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, sorry.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, no, go ahead, Chris, because I realized you hadn't mentioned anything, like your perspective on this.
It's okay. I don't really need to talk. Sometimes I'm just chilling.
No.
I'm just chilling. No, the only thing I really have to say about VR is that, like, to an extent, like, it scares me. I don't think I would have it in my house, just because I know when I play video games already, I kind of tune everything else out, and so like being in my house and not being able to see what's going on around me while I can't hear what's going on around me. I think
see.
would be kind of freak me out a little bit. And also I just don't think is the right way to go, because with the amount of time I spend playing video games, like I would never see my wife and like talk to her ever. Because I just
You will
like,
never really live real life again.
yeah, I think, but I don't, to be honest, I don't, at least I wouldn't have it in my house, but I don't think VR is ever going to, at least not anytime soon, take the place where like that is the standard to play games, because I feel like it is really difficult to do that unless you're just like always by yourself. And like, for me, it's always going to be one of those things where I'm just going to like go to a convention somewhere and they're going to have VR headsets and something really cool that I can strap into or whatever and walk around this world and feel like I'm somewhere else. But like that's going to be my use for VR. I don't
Like it's better as an outside, like as an outside entertainment venue, as something you would have in your own home.
Yeah, that's I think where I was landing with that as well. I would rather go somewhere else and do it than in my house.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I mean, that's part of the reason why I like personally, I don't think VR, like virtual reality, and I know I'm going a little too long, but I'm just gonna close out by saying that's why I don't think like virtual reality itself is going to get much bigger than it currently is. But I do have a feeling that like augmented reality might be more towards where the boom might be heading. Because don't you think it would be cool to have all of these interfaces come on through a headset where you can still see everything else around you and have it like integrate with the reality around you instead of everything trying to fake itself to look as real as possible? You can instead interact with reality in a different way.
Yep.
You know, augmented reality, I think, is one of the things that has a lot of untapped potential, and I think the technology is starting to get there.
It's funny because like you see that stuff in sci-fi movies all the time, where like people have weird things on their head that totally like like holoscreens or like an implant or something that makes them see like a weird heads-up display in their actual vision, and like that's kind of cool. Like I'm sure at some point they're like everyone, it's going to be standard for people to like be wearing something that just in front of your face has like all your notifications and stuff, and like everything that's happening in the digital world, that you could see it at a second, not have to take out your phone, not have to look at your watch, like you just see it.
That's the iWatch evolution. That becomes the iScreen. That's Apple's next thing.
Give me more AR stickers on my Pixel 2X.
But yeah, that's I mean, I'm just gonna end by saying I do think a lot more is available in the AR space. We haven't seen a lot of it yet, but I think once people realize that virtual reality will never be that perfect, secondary world that people want to live in, I think a lot of people will become very interested in what AR gaming can do. I mean, hell, Pokemon Go could even be a good starting point from that, but I digress.
Word. So I'm feeling good about that. I think we hit on a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
Proud of us.
Y'all got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I got one. In the future, when we all have AR headsets, we will never need to buy furniture for our apartments anymore. Because we'll just have a virtual furniture.
Virtual sofas.
Wait,
that's what they do.
We'll have a virtual couch, but wouldn't you just be sitting on a floor?
No, well, yeah, you have to get some sort of like box, something you can,
So what you do is you buy a cheap couch and make it look like an expensive couch.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's probably more practical. But you'll never need to buy like pictures, decorations for your walls or anything. Just put that in the AR. You're good.
Yeah.
The future we all asking for, isn't it?
That'd be pretty neat.
Nice.
All right. All I'll say is Scyther's not a number one Pokemon, and that's
Oh
going
my
to do it for us
God.
this time on the Memory
That
Funny
is not-
podcast.
Wait, no, it's
that is
not. No, it's not.
canon in the podcast.
And we're
Shots
we're
fired.
we're gonna hash this out at one point or another. But now saving,
dirty,
don't turn
Mark.
off the power.